So if you didn't already know this, I'm a huge Neroli, Orange Blossom, and Petitgrain fan. And we're going to discuss those notes coming right up. Hi guys, it's Sebastian with Looking, Feeling, Smelling Great, and this is my top 15 Neroli, Orange Blossom, and Petitgrain Fragrances video. Now, I wanted to do this video. I had done one in a previous channel before, and this is many years later. We're thinking probably about 4 years I did the previous one. And you know, the collection has grown and I've acquired more fragrances that are Neroli, Orange Blossom, or Petitgrain dominant. So Neroli and Orange Blossom are the flowers of the citrus trees, and then Petitgrain is the green leaves of the citrus trees. So it's green, it's very kind of a bitter citrus note, and it is used in fragrances quite frequently, and I really love that note along with the two flowers, the Orange Blossom and the Neroli. So this is my top 15, and we're gonna have one honorable mention, and we'll start with, it's called Neroli by ANNICK GOUTAL. This right here, this is a discontinued fragrance, but they've actually relaunched it as a eau de cologne. This is eau de toilette. Now what I like about this one as a Neroli is the fact that it's Neroli, it's got Petitgrain, it's got Orange Blossom, plus it's got like some woody notes like cypress and so on. And it's a unique take on Neroli. It's not similar to the other ones that I have, although you know they utilize the same notes. But the unfortunate part is it's discontinued. And the other unfortunate thing is for you men who are watching this might be a bit feminine. But I think, generally speaking, Neroli and Orange Blossom are flowers to begin with. They're white flowers and they smell very citrusy. So this kind of takes it to the slight bit feminine side, especially since it was targeted to the ladies, because with ANNICK GOUTAL you have these feminine bottles. But the newer version as an eau de cologne in a very unisex bottle is very unisex, of course, and you should definitely try that one out. And if you compare these two, you'll kind of notice the similarities a little bit. But this one, I will always store in a dry, cool place because I don't make it anymore. It's a wonderful Neroli, and absolutely love it. So this is Neroli by ANNICK GOUTAL at number 16, or the honorable mention. So at number 15, we've got one that everyone should know about. It is by Moore and Wirtz, and it's 4711. Of course, it's a very inexpensive fragrance. It's very cheap. It's a eau de cologne concentration, so it's going to be very light also. That's why it's also cheap. Plus, it's been around forever, since the 1700s, actually, the late 1700s. And it was discovered in a town called Cologne, or Köln in Germany, where I've been to, and these are sold there like very inexpensively. The reason I like this one and to include it here is because it's all about citruses, and it dries down to a Neroli base. And that's what makes it really cool. And I think traditionally in eau de cologne type fragrances, Neroli or Orange Blossom is traditionally used. And it's why I really love Neroli and Orange Blossom in fragrances. It's very refreshing, it's very uplifting, perfect for after a shower because it kind of refreshes you. And again, it doesn't last too long, but if you're looking for something light, 4711 will do the trick at number 15. So at number 14, we've got one that I've worn a couple of bottles of. Here I have my 50 ml bottle it's almost run out as well. It's Orange Blossom by Jo Malone. Now Jo Malone fragrances are all eau de colognes, but man, they have such very true fragrances that smell very true to what they're supposed to smell like. And this particular one, Orange Blossom, smells very true, very identical to orange blossoms growing on a tree. So it reminds me of walking in an orange grove full of orange blossom orange trees blooming with their orange blossoms, I guess. Very true. It's slight bit feminine. It has a few other floral notes in it, so it might come off a bit feminine, but I think it's just because it's very true. It's like when you smell this, it smells just like smelling a bunch of orange blossoms on a tree. So true. It's like really like I'm like smelling the tree, and it's captured in a bottle. So if you like that sort of thing, do try that one. It's Orange Blossom by Jo Malone. It's really wonderful. And that's number 14. At number 13, we've got Neroli Blanc from A Pays de la Fleur d'Oranger. It's a southern France perfume house, indie niche perfume house. And they have 3 different Neroli Blancs total. I have 2 on the list. So this one's the Neroli Blanc Eau de Parfum. And then there's also the Intense, which is also on the list. They're both Eau de Parfum concentration, so they are definitely stronger concentrated. They're more intense. And this one actually has a little bit of vanillic notes in it. Like it has caramel, so it kind of intensifies the scent. But it's all about neroli, it's jasmine and orange blossom and petitgrain. This one also has a petitgrain note, the bitter green orange leaves. And I really, really love this one. It's a slight bit unique from all the other neroli or orange blossom scents in here, and that's why it made it on the list. So that's number 13, Neroli Blanc Eau de Parfum by La Fleur de l'Orangère. So at number 12, we've got one from a house called SABE MASSON, and it's Georges et Moi. What I like about this one is the orange leaf / petitgrain note. That's the dominant note, along with ginger and ylang ylang. It's got vetiver in it, it's got bergamot, cedar, rose. Makes for a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. Now this is actually not a true petitgrain or orange blossom or neroli scent, because it has a lot of other dominant notes that are kind of the main players here. But still, the main note is the orange, the lemon leaf / petitgrain note that's in here, which makes it, you know, really wonderfully green, that I really love. So it's all about citrus with those other notes I mentioned. And it's a house that's kind of new. It started by the woman who started Sephora she started this after she sold it, Sephora to LVMH. This is her own brand, and there are 2 fragrances on this list that are from this brand. So you should check it out. These bottles go for about $50–60, I believe. Do some research online. So it's Georges et Moi by SABE MASSON, and that's number 12. So at number 11, we've got Eau de Neroli Doré by Hermes. Now this one, again, is an eau de cologne, and to me this one smells like, as soon as I put my nose on it, it reminds me of some of the other Hermes fragrances, like it's got the Hermes DNA or Hermes DNA. And but this one is all about the neroli as the dominant note. And so basically what notes we have here are neroli, bitter orange, and saffron. Those are the 3 notes that are in play here. And it's a very refreshing but sort of a denser, not so light and airy kind of a neroli, if that makes sense. It has a little depth to it rather than just be light and airy. I think the saffron note kind of weighs down the lightness of the neroli note in here. I mean, it is unique. It's not groundbreaking, but it is unique, and I really love it. It's perfect for, you know, warm weather. A lot of these fragrances are for, you know, the upcoming spring and summer weather temperature. So Eau de Neroli Doré by Hermes is at number 11. So at number 10, we're going to the house of Atelier Cologne, and that is Grand Neroli. Now, what I like about this one is that it smells like a traditional eau de cologne, like the 4711. It's basically an intensified / amplified version of like a 4711 type scent. This is Atelier Cologne's version of the 4711, but a really, really beautiful one and a very, very refreshing one. So basically you've got neroli, you've got petitgrain, you've got lemon, bergamot, oak moss, and a few other main players, some musk and things like that. But just a really, really refreshing scent. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you would wear in hot weather. Just spray all over yourself. It's a very, very pleasant and welcoming style of scent, where if you put too much on, you're not going to turn off people, because it's very welcoming, I think. So if you're looking for a scent like that, that's refreshing for the summertime, I think you should try something like Grand Neroli by Atelier Cologne, and that's number 10. So at number 9, back to the SABE MASSON again, and this time we're doing ZAZOU. This is the second one on the list. This one smells like juicy, juicy citruses with their dripping juices all over the neroli and the orange blossom and the petitgrain, if that makes sense. So just imagine you're juicing some lemons, and there's also grapefruit in here. So you've got the grapefruit juice, the lemon juice, then you've got the neroli, and you've got the orange blossom. they're all drizzled on top of all the flowers, and all the essences are combined, and that's how refreshing and juicy this one smells. Really, really lovely stuff. It's also got some musk and some amber, some ginger, cypress. So very refreshing stuff. Again, this is by SABE MASSON. Do check it out. Really underrated brand new house, and I really love wearing this in the warm weather. ZAZOU by SABE MASSON is at number 9. At number 8, to the second fragrance from the house of FLEUR d'Oranger, and this is Neroli Blanc Intense. As you can see, the juice is much darker here compared to here, and what we've got here is, what makes this unique is there's the Neroli, of course. It smells like Neroli orange blossom, and then you've got dried fruit, so it kind of goes into like almost like a gourmand territory. And what I like about this one is also it reminds me of Love by KURKDJIAN. So if you like that one, this is a much lesser expensive version of that scent. It's not exactly the same, but it has that orange blossom and kind of like candy, almost candy-like sweetness from the dried fruits in here. So it's a unique touch to the orange blossom. And again, this one actually probably in the summertime and the heat wave, probably it's going to be a little too much because it is a lot thicker. It's got denseness to it. Almost gourmand, like I said. So I would wear this sparingly in the summertime, but spring and fall I think is perfect for this one. Just really, really beautiful, unique take on a Neroli orange blossom scent. So it's Neroli Blanc Intense by FLEUR d'Oranger. Is that number 8? And number 7, everyone knows this one probably as much as this one, and perhaps even more, but perhaps you know this one more. It's Mugler Cologne. It's not 4711, but it's the same idea, and also the same idea as Grand Neroli. This was love at first sniff for me back in 2001, after I had overused Amen. I was a huge fan of Amen by Mugler. Kept overusing it. I probably had worn about 3 bottles by that time. And then when this came out, I called this the anti-Amen because it was just a complete opposite of that heavy patchouli gourmand type fragrance that is Amen. So I started using it at the gym. I had started a really nice high-end gym here in San Francisco, and I was always wearing it after I showered. So it was very refreshing, and it also performed pretty nicely. And it's all about the Neroli, Petitgrain, Orange Blossom together, and it has a very soapy quality. This is the last of my bottles from the mid-2000s, so I'm almost out of it. And what a lovely scent. It's just like a traditional eau de cologne, just made modern. Well, 2001, so 16 years ago. But it's Mugler, and I absolutely love it. So this is very unisex, and it's very soapy. So if you like that clean, soapy thing, this one's gonna work for you. Mugler Cologne at number 7. And at number 6, we've got one from the house of MAISON Francis KURKDJIAN, and it is Petit Matin. And what I like about Petit Matin is it's got the Petitgrain note in here, it's got orange blossom, and it also has lemon. So it's very lemony, fresh citrus, flowers, and musk, which MAISON Francis KURKDJIAN uses a lot of musk, clean musk, and that's what makes this one unique. It's a unique take on the orange blossom and Petitgrain, but a very, very lovely, lovely scent. Very, very refined, like all of his scents are. So check out Petit Matin. I'm sure you know about it. You've probably seen my video, but what a wonderful scent it is. I really love wearing this one. And it does have really, really great performance for a freshie like this. Petit Matin is at number 6. At number 5, we're going to an indie niche house from Portland, Oregon, and that's Imaginary Authors. And what we've got is MOSAIC. So what makes this one unique is the Petitgrain note. It's got a very dominant, big Petitgrain note, and this is unlike any of the other ones in here. It doesn't have orange blossom or Neroli. It's all about the Petitgrain, but it's got notes in here like that make it kind of glossy, shiny, marbly, because it's inspired by a German spa, and you know how clean and shiny those in the spa where the tiles and things are. It got marble tiles and things, so it kind of has that shininess, and you can totally smell it. When you smell this one, it just comes off like that. So it's the Petitgrain and those notes to make it kind of like glossy. That's what I like about this. It does have a great performance as well. So if you can get your hands on MOSAIC, do check it out. It's lovely, and it's number 5 from Imaginary Authors. At number 4, we've got L'Eau de Neroli by DIPTYQUE. Now the wonderful, wonderful Neroli scent here. We've got a lot of my favorite 3 notes in here. We've got all 3 of them. We've got orange blossom, we've got Neroli, and we've also got Petitgrain along with a few other things like beeswax, which kind of gives it a little more oomphiness compared to other Neroli. So it is a unique take on Neroli. It's sort of like this one, but it's not quite. But it is really, really lovely. If you don't know this house, do check it out. One of my favorite Nerolis, that's why it's so high up here. I stopped using it for a while, but I am definitely going to get back into using it because it just smells great. So DIPTYQUE's L'Eau de Neroli is number 4. At number 3, a new one from the house of Jo Malone, and it is Basil and Neroli. And what I like about this one is the fact that you've got that green basil note along with the Neroli note, which is my favorite. So you've got the Neroli toned down with the herbal basil note. So it's a unique take. It's got the greenness, and the basil comes off not so green, although it does come off green and fresh, in addition to being also like dry and dry basil, if that makes sense. So you've got the best of both worlds of the basil. It's like you've got the undry version of the basil, the fresh version, and the dry version along with that Neroli. It's wonderful. It's Jo Malone. It's true smell again, and that's what I like about Jo Malone. And this one's a really, really nice one. It's new, came out late last year, and it's going to come in very handy this spring and summertime. So Basil and Neroli at number 3. At number 2, we've got Eau de SENS by DIPTYQUE. We've got another one from DIPTYQUE. Now what's unique about this one, this is Neroli, this one's actually orange blossom, so they're a little different. What we have in here is the orange blossom. We've got orange, and we've got angelica in here also, so it kind of has a little bit of a powderiness along with juniper berries and patchouli. So it's a unique take, but really one of my favorite releases of last year, hands down, because I really love orange blossom. It's very refreshing, it's very also fun to wear. So if you don't know Eau de SENS, do check it out. It's a lovely, lovely scent by DIPTYQUE. Last but not least, my number 1 is a fragrance from a house called Le Galion. And the release is called Cologne, and the fragrance is called Cologne. So it is cologne inspired, that's why it's called Cologne, but it's not a traditional cologne where it's an eau de cologne, because this is an eau de parfum concentration. The note in here is petitgrain, angelica, bergamot, orange, and orange blossom. So just a lovely, lovely scent. It smells like a traditional eau de cologne, which kind of it is, but it does have great performance because it's got the concentrated notes in here. And I really love it. It came out last year, and it was a pair of them. It was Cologne, this one, and there was also Cologne Nocturne, which uses different notes, but kind of sort of inspired by the idea of cologne, but it was like a darker version. But that one didn't make it because it doesn't have those traditional notes that we're talking about here. But this one definitely does, that petitgrain note, and it's such a lovely scent. I'm going to spray it on here, even though I'm out of space. The way these spray are very cloudy, so it takes up all over your body. And man, I just love this scent. So wonderful. So refreshing and so perfect for warm weather. It just has this like uplifting vibe and energy when it comes on you. When you spray it on you. So that's what I like about Cologne by Le Galion, and if you don't know about it, do check it out. The nose behind this one is Rodrigo Flores Rue, so he did both the Cologne Nocturne and this one. I believe he did the other one too. But great house. Do check out Le Galion. I think they're going to be making some waves soon as a lot of their fragrances start being sold in the States here. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. That's my top 15 Neroli, Orange Blossom, and Petitgrain. What do you think about this list? Do you know these fragrances? Are you familiar with them? Do you use them? Do you like them? Do you want to try them? Or what have I missed? I know there's much out there, but I can't, obviously have everything. But do some suggestions if you have your favorites, and in the future video we'll increase the number to 20 perhaps and do a bigger video. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please like it, please share it. Please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future videos and giveaways. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.